Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am the stepson of Krypton.
And I'm Mantis.
And today we are going to discuss the one of the most recent announcements from James Gunn that had some fans a little worried about his upcoming projects. Mantis, do you want to elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, so there was an article posted. I think this was last week. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it was posted last week. That it says he had worried his fans about his Superman movie with a new, I say new announcement. You know, these articles, new announcement just means that week because, as we all know, James Gunn has to constantly debunk everything that's put on Twitter about him and his movies.
Not according to some people in the comments. That is not a thing. He only debunks one of 100 things. Sorry, that may have been a little passive aggressive, but so we're going to go ahead and get on into this discussion, guys. We're going to dive into what the announcement was and see what you guys think. Was it really something that we should be worried about? So, Mantis, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into that discussion. All right, guys. So, yes, James Gunn made an announcement. There are people out there, maybe in our comment section, that seem to think that he's not having to debunk every little thing or comment on every little thing. But apparently, because he can't say two words without somebody taking it the wrong way and putting out all kinds of articles, here we are. Okay. Mantis, what was the announcement that had people so fucking freaked?
It's not like I don't know. Like apparently was Superman is currently, and I didn't know they were filming in Atlanta at this point. I think from what I had
It's
read,
in
they
Ohio,
were.
isn't it?
It says they were filming in Atlanta. So yeah, that's what it says. It says Gunn recently delivered a shock bombshell on Threads in confirming Peacemaker season 2 has not just entered production, but he would also be directing said Peacemaker season 2.
This is Columbus, Ohio. What are you trying to pull?
I'm reading you what the article says. Maybe they're multiple locations. I'm just because they'd filmed previously in where was it, Norway or Iceland or some shit.
Yeah, but that was for the fortress scenes. Like now,
Well, right.
we got to film Metropolis. Where does Atlanta or Columbus come into this?
That's what I'm saying. Well, it's not like Columbus, Ohio is not going to look like fucking Metropolis. I'll tell you that. So
hey, Atlanta will if you want to get a traffic jam. If you want to get on the roundabout there on the interstate, that will definitely look like Metropolis traffic.
I hate Atlanta. Anyway,
side note.
For those of you that live in Atlanta, I don't hate Atlanta, the city. I just hate traffic in Atlanta. It's stupid. It's dumb. Anyway, yeah, you know. So while he will not be directing all the episodes for Peacemaker season 2, says he did take the helm for the first day of production and would likely lead the season premiere. So he's at least going to be doing the pilot of season 2. I say it's not a pilot, though, is it?
No, just the first episode of season 2.
First episode.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? And this is where I mean, like again, oh my god, they're already starting filming of Peacemaker. Now we have done previous videos on the second season of Peacemaker. James Gunn had basically already said that the show is going to literally take place right after the events of Superman. Right? It's picking up right after that. So why wouldn't you film them together? You may have to get some shots in there that you could use for both. Right?
Makes sense.
James Gunn is a smart individual. He's not going to overtax himself. And he even said in the article, he said, on the days off that I have on the weekends, we're gonna do these episodes. So he's similar to like Seth MacFarlane, right? So Seth MacFarlane voices Family Guy. He used to do all the writing for Family Guy. He doesn't anymore, but he used to voice. He still does the voices. American Dad. He does so many things. And there was a interview on Ellen with him and Charlize Theron, and she's talking about how they're filming A Million Ways to Die in the West or whatever, and he's like on his days off he has to go back and do the voices for record Family Guy.
It's
And then
insane. It's insane.
they were out at lunch, and he said, yeah, he goes, yesterday while we were off, he goes, I was finishing this book I'm writing. And she's like, my voice is hoarse and I could barely, function after just filming as much as we have to film the movie. And he's filming, directing, producing, then going and doing Family Guy, American Dad, and still
It's
writing
nuts.
a book, right?
We were having lunch one day, and out of nowhere, he just goes, so, in my off time when we were doing the movie, I was writing this novel. And I just went, that's it. I can't be your friend anymore.
Yeah.
He's one of those people like James Gunn. Like, their lives have to be that. They have to, 8 million projects at once. And
I agree.
But they're able to do them.
He's the head of the direction, like he chooses the direction of the DCU, right? He is the head of all of it.
Yeah.
But there are those projects, that he's working on. And I think the big shock was that he's doing it simultaneously of filming Superman and Peacemaker. But keep in mind, like the article stated, he's only doing the first episode of season 2 at this point. And there are 3 other directors, just like season 1 of Peacemaker. Like he did do primarily, I think, most of the episodes on that season. Again, I have not actually watched it because you guys didn't like enough of the video. The last time I had said, get enough likes on the video and followers.
To be fair, yes, that is your guys' fault because I said, hey, yes, if you guys would comment and say he needs to watch it, we didn't get any of those.
I'd do it.
So
we didn't get enough. Maybe we can do that in this video. So enough people watch. Maybe I'll go back and watch season 1 of Peacemaker. But doesn't matter because again, he has other directors that helped on the last season. There's going to be plenty of directors. He's got 3. What is that? I don't know if they're the same directors. I'm assuming probably maybe 1 or 2 of them are the same. Jody Hill, Rosemary Rodriguez, and Brad Anderson taking on directing duties for Peacemaker while he's doing simultaneously Superman. So it's not that, like you mentioned with Seth MacFarlane, like it's not that big of a deal, I don't think, especially if they're in the same vicinity. All this is already pre-planned out. I don't know. I'm not a director. I've never been on a set for a film, but I have to imagine they already know what needs to happen, right? That's already been storyboarded out. The point of the director being there while filming is taking place is to make sure the actors and everything gets done properly when filming, that the actors are doing what they should. Maybe things need to change here or there. Like it's just little minor changes, I would assume. Could be wrong. Any directors or film producers that are watching this video, I don't know why you'd be watching it, but if you are, let us know in the comments if I'm completely wrong on the amount of time directors spend on it.
When he says directors, and film producers, not your own like our YouTube channel, except you've got like 1 viewer and 1 subscriber, but you make your own YouTube content. Now all of a sudden you think you're up there with James Gunn and Michael Bay. No, actually film directors. But the other thing is too, these characters are seasoned, right? Not only is this their 2nd season of Peacemaker, but they also did the Suicide Squad, right? So they don't. These actors aren't going to need a lot of direction to play their parts. Whereas if you're just like pilot episode of a new series, right? That's why he was so hands on in the first season of Peacemaker. Now he can kind of give direction, but then let the reins go a little bit. But again, he's creating the DCU, right? He has all of this in mind, so it actually is more beneficial to do Peacemaker and Superman in and around the same time. Like, go ahead and, if you can, because again, maybe you get some overlays, because again, we talked before, if you remember the last episode, he hasn't seen this, but this was spoiled for him long ago, so this isn't news to Mantis, but members of the Justice League come into the last episode of Peacemaker. That would have been cooler to do if you could get the current actors, and there were 2 of them, but like the Superman actor. So it would be easier to do that where, hey, while I'm filming this, we're going to shoot this scene. John Cena, I need you up here to help. We're going to get a little tie-in scene, right?
Yeah. Well, plus I think, again, since James Gunn is ahead of the DCU at this point, I don't think the importance of both of these films, or the film Superman and the first live action series in the new DCU, as the most important things going on right now. Animated stuff is definitely going on in the background, but obviously not as important as your first film out in the new management, new roles, new directors, new actors, new everything needs to be a fucking hit, especially if it's the main flagship character of the whole DC universe. Superman is the flagship, right? I think we're all in agreement with that.
We better be.
Not trying to start a war in the comment section, but it is. I don't think that people worried about can he do, but like he's not dumb. He knows both the film Superman as well as the first live action of Peacemaker, the first live action series in the new DCU needs to be a success. I don't think that's lost on him, nor his direction, nor the people he picked to direct the episodes he's not going to do. I just can't, he's not stupid. He knows what he's doing.
And that's kind of the big thing. And that's where, again, we'll probably catch flack for the few people who comment on the video. Don't really care. It's our fucking channel. We're going to say what we want. If you don't like it, don't watch. But it's because...
But actually watch. Keep watching, though.
Well, actually, the people who comment that, and even when they're negative, I'm like, okay, hey, I thank them because I'm like, hey, at least you watched the video, huh?
True.
You may not have liked it, but you watched it enough, because if you got to that random segment like this right here, if you saw this part of the video, it means you watched a good chunk. You didn't just magically skip to it. So
we salute you.
Yeah, hate it or not, I still got your time. But he isn't dumb. He isn't going to, I'm going to take on all these projects. And, if it's worrying you, and this is kind of what annoys me about the article title, worries fans with announcement. If it worries you, you're not a fan of his work because he can do this, right? He's not going to, again, I go back to Seth MacFarlane. He's not going to take on things that aren't going to work, or he's going to be overtaxed. He is smart enough to know, yes, I can do both of them. He has a plan. He's not going in here.
He's been in the game long enough.
To be fair, I understand where you're coming from and fearing, because clearly when they made Man of Steel, they didn't have a plan afterwards, right? It's like, we're going to release Man of Steel, and now what can we do to catch up to the MCU? And we didn't have a plan, right? I say we, they. Cadmus Media Group always has a plan. But they went in there, they didn't have a plan, so I get it. It seems like this, but again, James Gunn being the person to reboot all of this, he has a plan in mind.
There's a plan in everything, kid. And I love it when a plan comes together.
He's got this. He knows what he's doing. He's releasing information at particular times. He is making these announcements. He's doing all of these little things. Motherfuckers playing chess, right? Half of you out there saying, oh, we're worried you're playing Chinese checkers. We keep making that reference. I don't know why, but
there better be an A-Team clip in there somewhere about a plan coming together. But yeah, James, this isn't his first rodeo. They picked him to run the DCU for a reason. He's an experienced filmmaker, director, writer. He knows what he's doing. He's not some kid that came out of fucking film college that, also has a minor in, feminist studies or some stupid shit. Like, he knows what he's doing. And I think it's just overblown worry for no reason. They've been getting on, instead of, WebMD, they've been getting on IMDb too much. I'm researching this shit. Before you know it, you got cancer or some shit from searching.
I've been diagnosed with 12 different terminal illnesses, and I'm worried James Gunn's taking on too much. Like, that's what comes of this, right? We're probably gonna piss a lot of people off with this episode, but that's what we're here for. Because again, I know it's weird, but he's saddled with a huge responsibility. Like Mantis said, Superman is the flagship of the DC, whether it be the DCEU, the DCU, where you launch the MCU with, and you guys will argue and say, whoa. Most of you motherfuckers that watch the MCU stuff didn't know who Iron Man was before Robert Downey Jr. picked up the mantle, because you would have known that like a year before they released an animated movie that didn't do great, that was an Iron Man movie. That was like the preparation to
I
get
didn't
you
know that.
ready for Iron Man. We did a video on that, talking about
Yeah.
that. That they released the animated movie, and then like a year later, boom, there was 2008. There's the Iron Man movie. All right, it's easy. It was easy to start that franchise with a relatively no-named character as far as what most people had known. Because again, you even had a Captain America series way back in the day. You know, you've had several other characters and all that. So Spider-Man's, all of the, all of that kind of stuff like that. So it was easy to start that franchise with a no-name character, whereas with the DC period, whether it's DCEU or DCU, it all revolves around Superman.
Yeah, and I think this is just my opinion. I don't know, but I would assume, again, he's the writer and director of Superman. It's like we said, it's the flagship character of DC Comics. He just is. He's the most important, the most popular. He just is. So it needs to be successful. So he's gonna have a heavy hand in that. Now, I would also expect him to have a small hand in everything that comes out of the DCU within the next couple years, right? Like, I don't know if he's gonna get super involved in Creatures of Tomorrow or any of the other subsequent series or movies that comes out. I'm assuming he'll have some direction in the story and the main plot points.
Tomorrow?
Isn't that the one about the we did a video on that, didn't we?
Creature Commandos.
Sorry. What was
You're thinking Wonder Woman, Woman of Tomorrow. Oh, or no, Supergirl. Sorry, misspoke. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Creature Commandos, and you just Creatures of Tomorrow. You just mix them together. It's been a long week for both of us. All right, give him a break. I get to call him out on it because I've known him over 20 years. All right, you guys do not get to call him out on it. Because you'll have those people that'll comment before they finish the video. And they'll comment on something you said, and then when you retract it like 2 minutes later, then they comment again.
Hey, no, I said it. I was thinking of
2 comments.
Creature Commandos. Yeah. I was thinking of Creature Commandos. But it still it still stays the same where he's gonna have a hand in these things. But again, the main point are you want to put your best foot forward, right? From your first iteration of what is put out of the studio and your direction, it has to be good. Because we discussed this before. Like, if Superman does bad, if this video, like, I hate to say this, but if this film does bad, the rest of it's going to be shit. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, if Superman is good, you have a very excellent chance of everything else falling into line and people getting behind your vision of DC studios and the movies and the not the comics, but the animated series that you're doing, as well as the live action series like Peacemaker. Like, everything is going to stem from that film, whether it does well or it bombs.
I think the weird thing for a lot of people is that he is the co-CEO of DC Studios, right? It's odd to think of a CEO because, most of the time you think CEOs and higher ups, they don't do a lot, right? They're just sitting in their ivory tower, looking down on us peasants, like, hey, you guys are always doing wrong shit. Kathleen Kennedy.
Fuck baby, did put a chicken in, make her gay.
Stuff like that. Like, you're not, and you know what I'm going to cut in here.
We're making fucking gay.
I'm going to totally cut that in here. I haven't cut it in the last few videos, so I've got to. But, you think about that, whereas he is so hands-on writer, director for a lot of these projects, multiple projects running, concurrently. So it's just really weird, I think, for a lot of people. And I get the fear that he is going to kind of, overextend himself because, we've seen what happens when some of these people get put in the CEO positions and then they start kind of going their own crazy way. But, whether you're a Marvel or DC fan, with Marvel, you saw what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. Everybody loves that. We've seen what he's done thus far with Suicide Squad, where, we have basically 2 Suicide Squad movies. One did, measurably better than the other, and he was at the helm of that. So I think people just need to kind of calm down a little bit, trust in his vision. He's not gonna he's been given an amazing chance and responsibility, and I don't think he's gonna flounder it.
Yeah, look,
That's the
look,
right word.
I want to like attribute to this kind of like to basketball because I'm a big basketball fan, but sports fan in general. Like, it's and right now, like I'm just gonna I'll try to equate this to the current environment in college basketball because there's a lot of like things have changed now. Students or athletes can get paid. They weren't like that before, and there's a lot of nonsense that's going on. You don't know what's going to happen, but with James Gunn, I feel like you just need to let the cake bake.
I was making a cake and I poured some batter in a pan and I put it in the oven, and then 5 minutes later you came by and you grabbed the pan, you threw it across the floor, and I went, what the fuck, you just ruined my birthday cake? And then you were like, well, that wasn't a cake yet.
I think like schools right now, they don't know what's going to happen. People are judging coaches on what happens before the season and how many recruits they get. It's the same thing with NFL. Like how many, the draft just happened last week, or maybe it was earlier this week. I think it was this past weekend, maybe. But it's like, oh, we got this person. We're going to do awesome, right? It's like, well, you don't know that. It may be terrible. They haven't played the games. Just like this, like we're discussing this because it's fun. It's the internet, obviously. Everything's based on presupposition. The actual shit hasn't actually even happened yet. When the movie comes out, that's when we'll know, right? Like I just feel like it's unfair to judge the results of what he's actually been hired to do when there hasn't even been a movie or a film or a series or anything that they've actually finished with yet. And the stuff that we do have that James Gunn has done with both DC as well as the MCU have been great. Like they've been fantastic. So like I don't
go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say they've been great. Like I don't see why you would think, oh, he can't do it. He's just gonna be like evidence that so far the track record we have for James Gunn has been good. So I don't know why people are freaking out about it.
Well, and speaking of records, it's funny you mentioned that. So he did make another announcement that the Superman movie is breaking another record of his, and that is that it will have, thus far of any project he's done, has the longest runtime for filming. It's going to be, I think, just over 6 months of principal photography, which is longer than any other movie that he's done. So again, tells me he's putting in the work, right? He's making sure that what he's got is good. Because obviously, I don't know where he's going to land on runtime because that's kind of up in the air with movies. I know with the original, when Justice League came out, when Batman, they're like, it's got to be under 2 hours. It's got to be under 2 hours, even though you cut out all the plot.
We talked about this.
We've done plenty of videos on that. This is his longest, as far as principal photography movie ever that he's ever done. So, that gives me hope, right?
There's two things from that I take. One, either he's very inefficient, or two, it means we're going to get a kick-ass director's cut of the film. So hopefully it's the latter.
Say it's the latter. I don't think he's inefficient. I don't think he's Clint Eastwood style directing where he basically does everything in one take. He doesn't do multiple takes on things. But I do think it's, like he's making sure he's getting, and that the fans are going to get their money's worth. So that's my final thoughts on this.
Yeah, I agree. I think people just blow this shit out. And because it's James Gunn, they like to post shit and he likes to debunk it. I mean, he could just ignore it and it wouldn't be a story. But I think James Gunn, like us, is a fan. So he feels obligated to reassure the fans that this is happening, this is not, right? I think that's really where it comes from.
Well, and and that's why we do these videos, right? It'd be easy to just say, oh God, but it's to kind of point out, like for any of you who are watching that are like, well, damn, I'm kind of worried about that. Don't be. There's no reason. I get you have trust issues given what's going on in current state.
It's not movies. Yeah,
it's
not thinkable for sure.
But this is like being in a relationship and you get hurt, you get cheated on or something. When you get into the next relationship, you can't ask your then current partner to pay for the mistakes that your previous partner made, right? And hold them like, well, in previous relationships, I had this happen to me, and that's not your current partner. Like, if you're bringing that drama and that baggage in there, it's not going to work, right? We kind of have to do the same thing with the DCU, right? We have to move past the hurt, right?
Yeah,
I know it's
I
hard.
agree.
Trust me, clearly Superman fan, right? But we got to move past the hurt, and either we're open to putting ourselves back out there, or we're not, right?
Right.
We, we hope that this next Superman is going to be the one, or it's not going to work.
I've got, how many more do we have left, dude? Like, I know you're already in your 40s. Like, I'm getting there, man. Like, I don't know how many more chances we got, if you know what I'm saying. Like,
dude, this is about it for me. Otherwise, I'm going to be watching finally Darkseid come onto the big screen from my retirement home. Like, this is about all I got left, man. This is the last reboot.
You'll have to skip your dominoes session and cribbage or whatever the hell it is.
It's like, do you want to play shuffleboard or do you want to watch the new Superman movie?
Yeah.
That's where it's
remember, so it doesn't matter.
Right? I won't remember if it's bad. So all right, guys. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up here because we're showing our dementia and old age. If you've made it with us this far, this guy here, I always do that. Always, for whatever reason, because on my screen you're here, but on the camera you're actually that way. So I always point this way. So let me do it right this time. This guy here is going to show you where to click on the like and subscribe button for the channel.
Oh wait, let's do there. Let's do right there.
All right, I'll do both. So where he's pointing here to like the video, subscribe to the channel, because we definitely are going to continue following all of the James Gunn news with the Superman projects that are coming, or DC projects that are coming out, as well as what happens in the Marvel universe. And we've even sprinkled some Fallout content in there too, because we are fans of the games. Now, speaking of games, Mantis, God damn it, keep doing that. Mantis, I need to put you on that side of that screen. Mantis does have his own gaming channel that is separate from the UMeDC channel here, where he is currently streaming the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I say streaming for those of you, if you go to at Mantis Toboggan Gaming 812, he's streaming that. If you don't catch the streams, he does have the videos up there on YouTube. Go check it out. Amazing channel, amazing game.
Sorry, yeah, you just said it all.
I thought you were gonna maybe add something in there, like that's awkward pause. I'll have to chop out in editing there, but definitely go check out that channel because he is going to be bringing some Fallout to the channel as well.
Yeah. I guess I could add this in there. Yeah, you'd mentioned we'd done a couple of videos on Fallout, which we will have 7 and 8 here coming out probably hopefully 2 weeks next week. I don't know. It'll be in the future sometime. We'll have the last 2 episodes. We're just discussing that series. So it kind of got me back into Fallout. I know Cal was a proponent of all the Fallouts, big fan of it. So I jumped back into 76. So I'll probably be streaming some of Fallout 76. Mainly me just grabbing looted items and crafting and breaking junk down. So I don't know if you're interested in that type of content, but it's there. Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, I only played the game for years and couldn't get him to play it, and now that I've stopped, he's starting again. But I'm not bitter about that at all. No, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
If the series came out when we were playing, then I'd have played.
But see,
don't blame me. Blame Amazon.
They marketed that well, and that's why on Steam all the Fallout games went on sale, and everybody is jumping on that bandwagon right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still haven't. I'm not going to buy the Fallout first, but I did buy the newest version of the game. So, but yes, come check it out. It's fun. Come watch the stream. I don't stream that long, so if you're in for like an hour or an hour or two, just come hang out. If you're too busy for that, all of the streams will be in VODs on my Mantis Gaming 812 on YouTube. which is a subsidiary of Yumi and DC, part of the Cadmus Media Group. All the plugins.
Exactly. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We will see you on the next one.
Later.